So, back for another VGC guide, and this time we are looking at Altaria. Weather is not that great in this format. Like, it's fine, but not so great that you must have something like Cloud9 to counter it. Like, it's just a nice thing that will occasionally happen. Maybe when the Paradox Pokemon come back, and then the past ones want to be in the sun, and then you can cancel that. But then again, they can just boost your energy to get photosynthesis instead, so that would just get around that completely. So yeah, Altaria, its main niche would have been to just Cloud9 things, but that doesn't really matter. So it's got to look for some other things. And apparently, randomly, it has a couple of things that it can do. So this is one of them. This is one of the most random sets I will ever recommend. But this is viable. Cotton Guard is a +3 defense boost, even better than Iron Defense. It is very, very much a shame that Altaria does not get body pressed. Like, it doesn't look like it would have done, and it doesn't. So Cotton Guard and Body Press is a good combination, but Altaria doesn't get it. So it's got to find the damage from somewhere, and that somewhere is Fire Spin, because then you can do residual damage over time, and you don't care about your offenses at all, because its offense is like 1770 is terrible. Just bulk it out. Max special defense, because you're going to be cotton guarding to get your defenses up as well. This is very respectable bulk on the special side, and it will become very respectable bulk on the defensive side after even just one cotton guard. And then you can just recover with Roost, and then you get Fire Spin. You'll eventually win, but this is definitely a set where it is, you cannot KO me, I will eventually win. Steel is just the best Terra type with Dragon and Flying, because it's good defensive synergy with that. And then the last move. I was looking at Breaking Swipe, and it didn't get it. And I was looking at Draco, and it's like, okay, I can do okay damage once, and then just never again, because I don't want to switch out to reset the -2, because I want to be staying in and spam Cotton Guard. So Draco Meteor is not worth it. And I was just looking through the moves, and I wanted something so that I could hit Flash Fire Pokemon, so it's not completely walled. And Dragon Breath was the standout. Dragon Breath. This is the only time, almost certainly, I will ever recommend Dragon Breath. But I wanted a second attack move, I wanted a fourth move, and Dragon Breath seemed to be it, because it has somewhat of a helpful thing that it can do 30% of the time. It's basically like Scald, except for paralysis. And that can be useful. If you paralyze something, awesome. That's another potentially free turn to set a Cotton Guard. That's potentially another turn wasted, so it's an extra round of Fire Spin. Dragon Breath. It's a terrible move, but it makes sense on this one. And only on this one. Like, don't use Dragon Breath otherwise. 30% paralysis chance isn't that great, but it's better than nothing for Altaria. Because the chip is going to be negligible. Even if it was Draco, the chip would be not great at all. And that would only be one time. And that can miss as well. This is a fine set. This is a potential you cannot KO me set. And it won't do much damage. It's going to be incredibly passive, so they can play around it quite easily. But if you take care of all the counters to what would be the Altaria, you win. So it's viable, which is hilarious. And Altaria can do something else as well. Apparently it gets Will-O-Wisp now. That was incredibly random. When did that happen? Like, you could definitely have just gone with Feather Dance instead. That's not how you spell Feather Dance. You could go with Feather Dance instead. You can go with Will-O-Wisp. Will-O-Wisp is more permanent, because this one is supposed to fit on a Perish Song team. Because its bulk is good enough that it can justifiably be one of the Perish Song setters. So, don't know why I've got Roost twice. That should be Protect. That was random. But yeah, this should be the set. So, Will-O-Wisp, Roost, Perish Song, Protects. You don't have any offensive moves, but that's not the point of the Perish thing. Like, technically, you can do some chip damage with Will-O-Wisp, by technicality. But, yeah, just don't get taunted, and then you can just do your thing. Because it's bulky enough to Perish Song, and then it's going to be able to reduce the damage output of one of the opponent's Pokemon with Will-O-Wisp. That will buy you enough time to hopefully get the Perish Song all 3 turns off, and then you can recover as well if you are being damaged. And Citrus Berry as well to make it even bulkier. Because this is definitely justifiable on a Perish Song team. Like, you're obviously going to pair it with at least Coppertail, and there's only a few Perish Song Pokemon in the format. Like, ignore Fluttermane, and ignore Springtail as well, so not many to choose from. And Altaria is one of the bulkier ones. Maybe even, not quite the bulkiest, because Azumarill would be bulkier, but one of the bulkiest for sure. So entirely justifiable on a Perish Song team, and it might even be the only one with reliable recovery as well, while also having damage reduction. So, very randomly, Altaria has 2 viable sets. I'm not saying they're the greatest, but they are viable, and that's surprising.